views expressed on this program are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
Hi, welcome. This is Dr. John DeMartini. This is one of the most amazing and inspiring shows that you can listen into. If you want to be on the edge of your seats, if you want to open up your heart, if you want to expand your mind, and you want to meet incredible people, stay tuned because you're just about to experience a transformative radio show that will change your life. And you're listening to the Dr. Pat Show that's coming up right next.
The following audio is via a Skype call.
Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. Talk radio to thrive by. Powerful, inspiring, and coming to you live, bringing you stories of people like you and me, busting through and living life full out. Get ready to dare to wonder what your life would be like if you knew you could not fail.
Hey, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. What a great show we have planned for all of you today. If you'd ask me, Dr. Pat, if you'd ask me, years ago when I started this, that first of all, I'd be talking to anybody about awakening right there. That's kind of interesting, right, Benny? That I'd just have a conversation about awakening. But then if I'd be talking to anybody about chakras, which I used to call chakras. Some people actually call them that. Or if I were going to be talking about energy, I'd have probably looked at you and said, nah, I don't think so. But life turned out quite interestingly for me. And there's nothing greater that I've discovered than an awakening because your body has literally given out on you. And that's been my experience. And so as a result of that, you all have gotten the benefit of my illness because the entire direction of the show changed in 2004 and 5. And that's why today, when I talk about awakening the chakras and I get to interview, an author, somebody that has been out in the world and helping people not just understand what the 7 energy centers are, but how to live our lives through them. When I get to have that conversation with an author and, somebody that has been out in the world, that has helped people understand, coach them through a new level of conscious awareness, this is why, for me, I have to remind myself every day of what we're here to do. My very special guest today is Cooch Daniels, who is the author of Awakening the Chakras, the 7 energy centers in your daily life. And she is somebody that not only works with limitless people all over the world, travels, has become a student and a scholar herself, but more importantly, believes in that innate value in all of us, where we can tap into the happiness state of mind, of being, and of heart opening. But what do we need to learn about these energy centers that we kind of take for granted? I took them for granted. Cooch, it's great to have you on the show. Welcome to the show. It's great to have you join me here today. I'm so thrilled to talk with you.
Oh, thank you. I'm really happy to be here.
I got to tell you, I started this in 2003, radio, on an accident, pretty much. Found out it wasn't an accident, started to doubt myself, and got very sick on April 1st, coming up on an anniversary, April 1st of 2004. Everything I thought that I knew in life changed, and I became a student. And the first time I heard about energy centers, I knew that there was something there for me to learn. What have you learned? What was there for you? What was it that created your own awakening now so that you can sit and write a powerful, powerful book and bring a healing message into the world? What was your awakening?
I'm still awakening and trying to awaken more. It's an evolution of consciousness. I feel very blessed to have been on the path that I'm on, which has taken me to study with very wise, mystical guru people who are totally living on a different planet almost than our traditional Western cultural idea of reality. So I started, my first trip to India was when I was 22, and I'm so much older now. So I've been lucky to experience different belief systems that made me feel there is something else that I need to be looking for in life. And this has been a lifelong quest and a lifelong study, and I'll probably be studying until my last breath, because I have definitely not made it to the seventh chakra, which is cosmic consciousness, and until I get to that highest center, I'm still a lowly student.
Yeah. You know, I'm a girl from the Bronx, New York. So can you imagine me the first time? I think I was interviewing Ram Dass. I don't remember now. And I
love Ram Dass.
I don't even know.
His focus is on being awake when you die now. Like waking up and celebrating death as being one of the best parts of life. So that's what he's doing right now.
I'm so glad I listened to him early on. I got to interview him in a wheelchair one day. It was one of the best interviews I've ever done. And I didn't know what I was doing, because I didn't sign up for this as a radio person, really didn't even know it could happen. But here's what I want to say is I really did say chakra. I really did pronounce that way. But what was really clear to me at the time is my heart was in the right place. And I would love to talk with you about what is the pathway for your teaching, for what you're doing in the world. What is the pathway for us to first acknowledge that we have these energy centers, and then to even know what to do with them?
The pathway is believing in spirit, because they're invisible centers. They're not something that you can like hold in your hand and say, oh, in here, and I just bought this downtown, and if you go to this store, you can buy this chocolate. They're invisible, and you have to go within yourself to be able to connect with them and to experience them. So the path to connecting with chakras, or to understand even that you have them, is that you have to be on a path of spirit and have an inner quest. And the thought of waking up consciousness or trying to discover more about our human potential.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's the part I love about this. One of the things I was reading in the book was, first of all, I'm always struck by the dedications in a book. I'm always struck. I'm struck. Two things, right? I'm really a simple kind of girl when it boils down to it. I'm struck by images. So I already commented to you before the show on the image on the cover of the book. Just amazing. But then I always read the dedication of the book. And I would love for you to talk about this dedication for a minute, because when somebody says one of the most remarkable people we have ever known, I would love for you to share the power of that and the honor that you're providing in the dedication.
Well, Horatio Hari came to the West and had an ashram in Oakland, California, but he went back and settled back in his home in India. But he continued his entire life going around the globe, teaching at different centers in Europe and in the West. He had centers in New York and Holland and Belgium. But his tradition that he taught was verbally passed down for more than 2,000 years through his family. And it was a tantric tradition that embodied waking up through your chakras. And this totally ties into his belief system. He lived it. So he was always talking about the chakras, teaching about the chakras. And I was blessed to be a student for 20 years. And I I have to say that many people who write about chakras, they're copying his words of wisdom, and I think a lot of them don't even know where the specific words come from. But I've seen people quoting him almost verbatim, and I go, "Oh my God, they don't even give him credit." Right. It's like, where does this information come from? The understanding of chakras was in the West, but nobody had really gone into the incredible detail that our teacher did, and he provided several books on chakras that were published by my publisher, Inner Traditions, but the one that is most popular is called Chakras, Energy Centers of Transformation, that was written by Horatio Hari, that really started a wave of people having greater access to what do these centers do and what do they mean. Part of our wanting to honor our teacher and dedicate our book for our teacher was knowing how much work he did and having access to such an incredible person who was such a wise soul. He was totally awake in his higher chakras, which is not easy for people to do. Most of us are operating out of our lower three chakras. And he was just trying to help us all wake up, and he brought so much information to the West, and we wanted to give him credit. Like, this man deserves to be honored for bringing so much information to the West and helping so many people wake up.
Yeah, and that's why I wanted to ask you that question, because I did not want this to be another argument, another conversation, or another book written about chakras where we don't stop for a minute and ask the question, wait a minute, how do so many millions and millions and millions of people, how are we all aware of this, and where did it all start? We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to be talking with Cooch about several things. One of them is, what is that yin-yang symbol about anyway? And balance, is it even achievable? Well, maybe we're not talking balance in the foot-to-foot world. How can we balance our energy? And why is that our end game? Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Bree Gibbs is a fourth-generation high priestess with the knowledge to raise your vibration and conscious creation. Offering a wide variety of services from goddess light and shamanic healing seminars to private reading sessions, Bree works with you so you too can stand in your own power. Isn't it about time you took your life into your own hands? For more information about Bree's services and products, visit silvergaia.com. That's silvergaia.com.
Be unstoppable. Who do executive women count on for up-to-date information on everything from stilettos to being heard in the boardroom? To achieve excellence, you must first take control of your life and develop a successful strategy with the Unstoppable Diva. Tune in to Up or Out with Connie Fife, Mondays 5 p.m. Eastern, as she cuts through the BS to guide you to become bold, connected, and unstoppable. For more information, visit uporout.com.
Are you ready to start winning at the game of life? Lynn Brown, host of Get Into It, Winning at the Game of Life, is here to help you reach places and goals that you never thought possible. Lynn is an intuitive healer with a specialized background in financial healing. She combines her intuitive nature and her wholesome approach to financial planning. To learn more about her financial planning services, contact her personally at intuit.com.
Hey everyone, this is Dr. Pat. I am so thrilled. I've had the honor of working with Leslie Fontaine for the past year or so, and what she has created in her hit program, Sheer Alchemy, transcends what most of us get to listen to or hear in any point in time in our lives. But beyond that, Leslie is working with people all over the world, and she has created something phenomenal based on the feedback and input from the archangels, from the ascended masters, from the light beings, and most importantly, from each and every one of you. So if you want to change your life, if you're ready to step into your own version of sheer alchemy, please give Leslie a call at 678-665-3366. And why? Because this is what you're going to be prepared to do. Be amazed, and on your part, connect with the Ascended Masters that are there to help you custom make the life that you are meant to live.
Tune in to The Truth is Funny with Colette Steffen each Wednesday at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com. This hit show will have you thinking outside the box and riding the wave of infinite potential. Join Colette on the Higher Self Network, inspiring listeners to shine their brilliance and ensure success while roaring with laughter as they recognize the humor of the giant cosmic joke. Visit thetruithisfunny.com.
What do you see? The sun is rising, most definitely. A new day's coming. Ooh, people are changing.
Oh, Benny, did you really play that song? That is so old school. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Wow. I love that. I felt like, wait a minute, maybe I'm in the 60s again. Although it doesn't take much for me to feel that way. I'm just saying. Welcome back, everyone. First of all, let me say to you all, Cooch Daniels joining me here today, co-author of the book, Awakening the Chakras. It's a beautiful book. It's amazing. And I got to say, Benny, we got 3 copies of the book to give away. Before I jump back into this conversation with Cooch, I'm telling you, just forget it. I mean, what we're about to talk about, it's going to be hard to get in the hour. I would love to give a first copy of the book. The images in this book are beautiful. 1-800-930-2819. 1-800-930-2819. First copy of the book. Cooch, before we jump ahead, please tell folks, how can they find out more about you? How can they get their own copy of the book?
Well, the book has just been on people can go to the Inner Traditions website, and it was the book of the week, and I don't know if it's still the book of the week, but when I just looked, it was, and they were giving it at a small discount, but they can try going to the Inner Traditions website or asking at their favorite bookstore.
Cool. Okay.
And I'd like to just really honor Peter Vilterveeder from Holland, who was the artist and who did the cover, and the inside of the book has color plates that are just extremely beautiful, showing the representations of the 7 cosmic energy centers.
Mm-hmm.
And he was one of the main students of our teacher, Harish, and Harish was an artist. He was a temple artist, and he was going around the world teaching people how to draw yantras and mandalas and the chakras. And Peter was his student who is now following his tradition, and the paintings inside are representations from ancient times of what the chakras are, and they include the right colors, the right deities, the symbolism that have been passed down from mystical tantric practices that are thousands of years old.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, thank you for acknowledging. Before the break, I was talking about, first of all, one of the most common signs we see around, even if people don't know what it is, the famous yin yang sign. Some people have a sense, wait a minute, I understand a little bit about that. The other thing we hear a lot in our society is balance, balance, balance. But it's not about balancing energy. It's about balancing my to-do list. And I mean, it's just not. I mean, can you imagine what would happen if we stopped telling women that they have to have a balanced life in the outer world and said, let's create a balanced energy life? Can you imagine what would happen? Tell me what, from your point of view, what are the misconceptions about balance, and how is the outer view of balance different from the energy view of balance?
That is such a dynamic question.
I love that question. I waited for you.
In balance, if a person's really balanced, they're calm within. because our beings have a positive and negative polarity that is constantly being played out in the cells themselves. All of our cells are positive, negative. We breathe in, we breathe out, our breath goes up, our breath goes down. There is an acid-alkaline balance in the body. We're creatures of balance on a physical, emotional, mental level, and it's so much a part of who we are. Yeah. So if you're asking about balance when you're going to the market, it's like balancing your checkbook, making sure that you have the right kind of foods. You know, some are green, some are red, some are protein, some are carbohydrates. It's all about balancing. And to be healthy, it's like, how do you balance the food that you're eating to have the right nutrients? But if you're looking at balance as how can we be balanced inwardly, that's more of a spiritual quest again, and it's really paying attention to our well-being and can we be happy and what do we do to be happy? And staying balanced is learning to say no as well as saying yes, and really paying attention and reflecting within to know what our priorities are so that we can preserve our energy. So the really big balance is not overexpending our energy and keeping some in reserve so that there's a give and take with how we use our energy.
You know, here's what I love about what you just shared. See, sometimes we really struggle to rearrange the outer world. And I shared with you that I'm coming up on an anniversary, which I'm actually going to celebrate. People think people really do think I'm on another planet here, Cooch. April 1st is a very important anniversary for a lot of reasons. April 1st of 2004, I was standing up giving a workshop, a full-day workshop on living your greatest dream. And by the end of the workshop, my ankle had swollen to the size, I think, of a very large grapefruit. And off I went on this journey, healing journey. And people say, why are you going to celebrate a, quote, disease? And here's what I want to say about it. I'd love for you to talk about it in terms of the chakras. I'm going to celebrate it because it was a pivotal change in my life that would not have happened otherwise. Now, if we're all energy, there's certainly choices that we make about it. Tell me a little bit from your perspective how choice plays in the role of balancing energy in our chakra system.
You have such good questions. I think you should be writing a book.
My agent said that. She yelled at me the other day about that. But I got to do some more energy balancing before I do it. No, that's actually true.
I think, it's like, how do we charge our energy? What do we do with our energy?
Yeah.
Where do we pull our energy from? I mean, if you think about energy being like an electricity, there's a source and there's the place where it goes. So how do you get your energy? And really paying attention to how do you increase your energy? How do you deplete your energy? So there's something about needing to be reflective to look at the quality of life that you live, the quality of life that you want to live, and how do you take care of your energy on a very physical, personal body level, and then your energy to communicate your feelings. Because energy can be physical energy, emotional energy, intellectual energy, spiritual energy. And that energy that we project out from our inner self, it can be weak, it can be moderate, it can be strong. So when you're talking about energy, there's so many levels of, what are we trying to focus on in relating to energy? But you have to embrace your inner I-ness, your inner being, and to really look at how are you taking care of your energy. So being inspired to take care of your energy means you're going to have a better handle and better insight on what intentions you set to live your life fully, prosperously, abundantly, and move forward to having really good energy.
Yeah.
Does that answer your question?
It does. But, let's talk about this now, because we're going to go to break in a minute. But when we come back, what I want to talk about is many folks know when there's something off, right? Can I use the term off? I know it. The people around me know it.
We get sick because our energy goes off balance.
We get very sick, But even on an average day, I've been told, wow, your energy seems a little off. The question really is, how do I begin to correct it? Is it
first of all, tell them that your energy is not off.
Yeah.
First of all, you have to own how you perceive your energy,
nice.
And you have to protect your energy. So if somebody comes to me and tells me my energy is off, first of all, I'm going to say, well, who are you to tell me that? Or I'm going to think that. I might not say it out loud, but first of all, I'm going to look at who is accusing, because often the accuser is the person who's projecting what they're thinking about themselves, but it's coming across as a projection onto me. So I have to really validate my own energy level and to really look at what do I do to protect my energy right at that moment. So I really look at really holding my sacred space in that moment and protecting it so that somebody can't accuse me of being off or having low energy. Because if I buy into their suggestion or their projection, then my energy is going to be lower. And to really look at what do you do to maintain and hold your energy. And if we run ourselves ragged and work too hard, or we don't sleep, or we're party animals, or we drink too much, or we smoke too much, or whatever it is, eat too much sugar, do the things that we know we're not supposed to do, our energy can wane and it can go south, and we can be miserable because we don't have any energy. So the magician's axiom is know thyself. So to start any kind of a program on how to take care of your energy, you have to really pay attention to looking at what are you doing? What are your choices that you're making?
Yeah.
Do you want to have better energy, or do you want to have crazy energy, or how do you want to use your energy?
And how do we want to show up in the world in honor, joy, and happiness? When we come back, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to take you on a very brief walkthrough of the many, many ways that our chakra systems provide us with wisdom. And I really mean wisdom, but how do we tap into it? That's what we're going to be talking about when we come back, everyone. Stay tuned. You're listening to the Dr. Pat Show. I'm Dr. Pat, my very special guest, author Cooch Daniels. When we come back, another copy of the book and much more.
To see your life from an angel's perspective, book a personal consultation with Claire Candy Huff, angelic walk-in angel Ariel at Angel Healing House. Candy provides intuitive counseling, Reiki, and angel readings in person in Los Angeles or nationally and internationally via phone or Skype. She will channel the practical tools you need to transform your life. Call now 831-277-3716 or visit angelhealinghouse.com.
Do you feel that there's a bigger, better life for you? Is there anything holding you back from living the life you were meant to live? If you'd like to find your life's true purpose and calling, join the world's foremost authority on primal spirituality, David Carshare, in Becoming a Sun Radio, emotional and spiritual intelligence for a happy, fulfilling life. Tune in once a month to Becoming a Sun Radio with David Carshare on the Dr. Pat Show and Transformation Talk Radio. For more information, visit davidcarshare.com today.
On the cutting edge of the new mainstream, Christine Upchurch is passionate about bringing together science, psychology, and spirituality in a way that can be applied to our everyday lives for true transformation. The Christine Upchurch Show, stellar conversations to illuminate your journey, engages some of the most outstanding visionaries on the planet in lively dialogue to inspire you to become that bright light you're meant to be. Join Christine every Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific Time on KKNW, AM 1150, and Transformation Talk Radio.
What if your body and mind were the compasses to the secrets, mysteries, and magic of life? Glenna Rice, co-host of The Questionable Parent, is inviting you to access all that is possible. Glenna is a 10-year certified veteran access consciousness facilitator who offers an amazing variety of life-changing classes and workshops. Work with Glenna from anywhere, with teleclasses and workshops all over the globe. To learn more and see Glenna's current schedule of events, classes, and workshops, visit glennarice.com.
Want to help reduce the divisiveness in our world? Each year, the School for Esoteric Studies holds a subjective group conference. This year, our focus is on unity in diversity, the science of right human relations. From April till June, we will meditate together, study relevant writings, and share practical strategies for improving how we relate with each other. Join us to help build inclusive communities. Check on our subjective group conference at esotericstudies.net. That's the School for Esoteric Studies at esotericstudies.net.
Everyone, welcome back. I'm Dr. Pat. For more information about us, please go to thedrpatshow.com or just Google Dr. Pat or transformationtalkradio.com. And also, I want to say we have given away one copy of the book, and let's go ahead, Benny, and give away a second. 1-800-930-2819. 1-800-930-2819. It really would be great to be able to give away the copies of the book. And thank you, Cooch, for your generosity with our listeners. I want to talk about the 7 chakras for a minute, if we could, in brief, as you refer to it in the book. Many people have heard about them. Some people think they understand them. There have been many images about them, and I referred to them as a system. Am I correct in saying that? You know, do they all work together, and how do they work together?
You have so many questions. Let's take one of them one at a time.
Sweet.
So there's 7 centers, and they all do work together as part of consciousness. In our Western culture, we have the left and the right hemisphere of the brain, and that's how we see our consciousness working. But in the East, it is a vertical consciousness starting with the base of the spine, which is the root chakra, and then it goes up all the way to the crown, or the 7th chakra, and each center is looked at as a different place of consciousness. It's linked with the endocrine system. All of the glands are on this connected with the chakras. And when our glands are activated, for instance, adrenaline, then it sends out secretions or chemicals and gets that chakra even more stimulated, and the energy moves from down to up or up to down throughout the system. So it's a system of consciousness.
Mm-hmm. When somebody is looking and exploring their lives, and if we're looking at how to incorporate the 7 energy centers in our daily lives, a lot of people might be asking, listen, Cooch, where do I even start? Where do I start?
You start with whatever you feel is your greatest concern. So if you were having emotional questions and trying to figure out your emotions, you might start with your 2nd chakra. If it was around family emotions or emotions that involved worrying about your lover, or if you're trying to open your heart, you'd be looking at just trying to concentrate, meditate on your fourth chakra, which is the heart center. So you try to figure out where your concerns are. If I was worried about money, I'd probably be focusing on my first chakra or my third chakra.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to think about what your main concerns are. That would indicate your dominant focus and your dominant chakra. And spending some time meditating on what are you feeling within, what does it feel like along that, if you can actually locate it with your mind's eye and feel the energy within, and spend some time just being with that part of your anatomy and reading books on what that chakra means, getting acquainted with it. But meditation is key because your inward journey is what's going to really connect you with the chakras. So you've got to be willing to sit with yourself and try to connect with what are you feeling within.
Yeah. We talk about our daily lives. We talk about it as an outside job. But, I'm reading what you've written. I've looked at what you've done in your life. And, one of the things that I think gets clearer and clearer for most of us is that we're really talking about an inside job.
Well, if you're thinking about happiness, if you're looking for your happiness from the outside, then you're always dependent on the outside world. If you can be happy with what's going on within yourself, then you have control over your happiness. Maybe not control over it ultimately, but you are making choices that will affect your happiness. Whereas if you're saying, well, I'm only happy if this and this and this other thing is in my outside world, then you're totally dependent on the outside world. When you realize that the choices that you're making connect you with your emotions and you have control over your emotions and whether to be happy or not, then it becomes something that's more in your control and something that's within. And there's a saying that everything that we do, we think about the world as what's going on outside of us, but it's all dependent on what's inside of us in our mind, that the mind is the ruler over everything. So you've got to make peace with what's inside to be able to have a better sense of how to live in the outside world.
And I want to ask you a question about this idea of illumination. And I call it an idea because there are people that have looked at illumination and, and I'm talking about the crown chakra for a minute, and have thought about it and at some level have said to themselves, wow, this is out of the realm of what I can even imagine for myself. And yet, when you hear them share their stories, perhaps about things that have happened in their lives, perhaps about their journey, you might think to yourself, well, wait a minute. That is really, maybe that is an essence of illumination. And I would love for you to talk about that crown chakra and what illumination has come to mean the way you describe it in the book.
Well, I love that you're focusing on the crown chakra, and you said, my ideas about it. And the crown chakra being the highest center, it's beyond idea because we can't go into our seventh chakra with ideas or with logic. It is totally being there. And I can't even talk about it logically because it's beyond words. When you go into the seventh chakra, it's beyond words. And in our book, we say, we can only talk about it through the eyes of the spiritual masters who have been there. And anything else, we're just talking about what we think might be because we don't really know because we haven't been there. So seventh chakra is beyond words. It's beyond logic. And the only way to really know is through direct experience. And illumination, it's supposed to be brighter than a million suns. If we can get there, I'm looking forward to that brilliant illumination of a million suns. But I'm slowly, patiently just chipping away at the lower chakras, trying to go up. But we talked about, in our book, we talk about them through the eyes of spiritual masters who have experienced it, and they have some really let's see, some of them were Ananda Mayima and Pilot Baba and the other spiritual masters who have experienced that. and who encourage us to keep working on purifying ourselves and being true with ourselves so that we can move into our higher centers.
Yeah. You know, when I think that I read about, you know, the ideas that some people might have about what the chakras are, what they're not, I'm not somebody that sat down and, you know, had your book in front of me and was able to read it and have a new wisdom or understanding. I want to ask you about, and talk about this when we come back, and we'll give away the third copy of the book. I want to ask you about life's experiences. You know, are we destined in some way to live a life that has been planned for us, or do we truly get to make shifts and changes as we go along? Let's take a short break, everyone. When we come back, we'll give away our third copy of the book.
Sky Siegel co-hosts one of today's most popular psychic shows, Angels and Answers, with Artie Hoffman, as she communicates healing messages from the spirit world. These messages can be astounding, enlightening, and life-changing. Born with the God-given talent of inner guidance and the amazing ability to heal, Sky has healed thousands of people. Schedule a reading with Sky now. Call 908-500-1474 and visit skyofangels.com.
Tune in to Lucid Planet Radio with Dr. Kelly Neff. This hit show will illuminate your senses and empower you beyond your daily stressors and hardships. Renowned psychologist and author Dr. Kelly will captivate you with far-reaching topics and amazing guests as you wake to the greatest version of yourself. Learn to tap into your intuitions, think critically about our world, heal emotional and psychological wounds, and follow your passions to live your dreams. The Lucid Planet. Welcome home. Visit lucidplanetradio.com for more information.
Do you want to relax more, feel happier, and be more confident? Do you want to have more success in your life? Dave Dodge has some easy, effective methods to help you release your anxiety, worry, fear, depression, and even physical pain. Tune in to Stress Buster Radio with Dave Dodge every second Tuesday at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. For more information on how Dave can help you release your stress, visit StressBusterRadio.com. Skype and phone sessions are available.
TheAngelLady.net. 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 1-800-323-1790. 1-800-323-1790. Sue Storm. TheAngelLady.net.
Brand consultant Jen Morgan is here with Radically Distinct Radio to help you take control of your future and maximize your brand's power to produce results. Whether you're an individual trying to reinvent yourself and launch a new venture, or you're an executive trying to reposition your company to modernize your sales and marketing programs, Jen Morgan and the RAD Method empower you to play to your strengths and show up in the world as your most powerful brand. To learn more, go to jenmorgan.com. That's Jen with 2 N's, Morgan.com, or call 206-972-5366.
Tune in to Mainstream Metaphysics Radio to harness your connection with the universe to effect change for optimal success and happiness. Named one of the country's top psychics, Eve now brings her insights and gifts to this weekly hit call-in show, joined by visionaries, leaders, and gifted others, but mostly you. Jot it down, Thursdays, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back. For more information about me, you can always find me at thedrpatshow.com. For more information about my very special guest and how to get a copy of the book, Cooch, go ahead and tell folks how to do that, if you don't mind.
Okay, they can go directly to the publisher, which is Inner Traditions, and they have they send out books, or you can go to your favorite bookstore, because if you ask for it, if they don't have it, they can get it for you. On online bookstores or physical bookstores. You walk in and say, "Where's Awakening the Chakras?" and it is being distributed. It just came out I think it was February 28th. So yesterday was its 1 month birthday in the material world.
Mm-hmm. I love it. I love it. And we're getting ready, Benny, to give away a third copy right now. 1-800-930-2819. 1-800-930-2819. The book is Awakening the Chakras, the 7 energy centers in your daily life. And, I've been recently sharing what my own healing journey was like. And I discovered somewhere along the way how I was affected by my own emotions of doubt. Now, I'm reading your book and I'm thinking to myself, wow, I should have known about this. I should have known about maybe the 6th chakra work. And I love that what you've done is you've not only educating us about each of the chakras, but you also are helping us with a remedy. And I would love for you to talk a little bit, if you don't mind, about what some of the things are that we could do. What could we be mindful of? I know I was really struck by one of the sections you wrote on polarity balancing, and there was a meditation you put in here. And I thought, wow, if one more person this week tells me that I need to be more focused, I'm just going to scream. So,
well, screaming might be really how to get more balance. You have to embrace things. If you're going to scream, just embrace it, because then that helps bring in the balance aspect.
Yeah. Yeah. So give us a few ideas on how we might bring a few things into the daily life. I know we don't have enough time in the show now to go through all of the amazing things you have in here, but please give us a few ideas.
Well, for the 6th chakra, that is one that it's connected with the third eye and opening your inner eye of wisdom, and it's all about looking within through. You can use words. If you're not familiar with visualization, you can use words, but you try to visualize inwardly. And you can visualize affirmations such as our 6th chakra visualization is, affirmation, it's for integrity, and it's, I live the wisdom of self-mastery. So you want to affirm and strengthen your inner voice that gives you permission to be confident that you have self-mastery, and that can help balance the masculine and feminine sides of yourself. When you look at the spine, there are cords going up the spine that represent the negative and the positive energies that flow within the body. So you want to balance these energies and make peace with how do you balance the left and the right hemispheres of the brain. The ingoing breath, the outgoing breath, the right side of your nostril, the left side of your nostril, which there's breathing techniques to help you have more balance. And strangely enough, they're linked with the moon and the magnetic pull of the lunar energies. But this is not something that can be described in a 3-minute conversation.
Right.
And there's different practices, some for male and for females. Sometimes we have to honor that there is differences, and you have to look at those. You can do mantras and mudras. Mantras are chanting. Mudras are expressing energy with your hands that create a balance, a vibration, a way to communicate with your mind through movements in your hand. Mm-hmm. There is we have a section called Taking Action, where you look at your best course of action to help you move forward in life on a very practical level. But the practical and the spiritual, there's another balance. You're in the world, but you're wanting to wake up your 6th chakra, which you have to do inwardly, so you have to balance the outer world and the inner world. So it's all about looking at what is your best course of action to help you have that kind of balance and to help you. I mean, just waking up in the morning and saying, well, here I am waking up in the morning and having gratitude for waking up. And what part of your inner being do you want to wake up? You know, some people would rather sleep through the day. And it's like, what do you mean expand consciousness? I have enough problems just dealing with, you know, paying bills, let alone telling me I'm supposed to be expanding my consciousness. Sometimes we have to take care of the physical world and our physical reality before we can even have the energy to deal with waking up or expanding consciousness, which the chakras are a way to expand. It's like your accelerated path to expanding your consciousness.
Yeah. When we're looking at two things, and I want to ask you about them. One is that there are a lot of things going on in the outside world. You and I were talking about this during the break. And, you know, it would be hard for me to imagine that we're not unaffected by it. And a lot of people say, well, wait a minute, just unplug. Yeah, I think at some level you can unplug, but I think at some point it's almost impossible. How do we create a balanced system despite what's going on in the outside world? And I don't mean outside of our immediate lives. I'm talking more globally.
Well, for some people, the answer would be becoming more active and taking an active role in participating in the movement that you want to contribute your energy to. If each person walks forward with a light, they're going to bring more light to their situation, whatever their situation is. My sense is if you don't take care of yourself and you don't have the energy to take care of yourself, you can't try to take care of the community. You really have to start with taking care of yourself before you can go out and take care of others. So coming back to what we talked about initially, which is taking care of your energy, taking care of yourself, you have to cover the first chakra and be rooted and grounded to the planet before you can really walk forward with your courage and your assertiveness and your willingness to fight for any kind of global causes. If you're crying and you go into a demonstration, how can you link with other people to help your demonstration if that's what, you know, your action is? You have to take care of yourself.
Yeah. You know, it's really interesting. You know, we're seeing that, and I know it's had to be the case for me in the world. You know, that there had to be a level of care that, you know, I needed to take for myself or even for another. And I think what you've done in the book is you really help people understand, oh, okay, this is what I can do here. Oh, this might be what's going on here. And you've really laid it out quite beautifully. And if I might say, you know, you've laid it out in a way that even if you don't fully understand the entire literature on chakras, people will be able to get enormous benefit. So I want to really commend you on that.
Oh, thank you so much, because we tried to give people practical ways of working with their chakras. That was one whole section, is it's what do you do to work with them? And there's, you know, a number of ways that are provided. And then there's like the symbolic artistic element. There's the psychological element. So we tried to give people tools to work with their chakras on all different levels. And tools that are like, you know, down to earth. This is what you can do. It's not airy-fairy stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's what I found about it. You know, I mean, thank you. First of all, thank you. Please let folks know the best way that they can find out more about you and find out more about the book. And then what is your personal message? What would you like to leave folks with?
Oh, my personal message, I just had it, and when you asked me before, you're going to need it. And I think what I came up with is, it's the last sentence in our book, that the chakras are a doorway to the cosmic light of the potential of the higher state of the collective consciousness. And if you're willing to walk through it, you're going to become more conscious and more illuminated. And the question is, are you willing to do the work? Because you can't just get there without doing some personal work.
Yeah. Wow. And again, a website for folks?
would be www.cybermystic.com is mine, and my husband's website is Victor, what's your website? Consciousnessandculture.com is Victor's website, consciousnessandculture.com. And Victor is an academic and very intellectual, and I'm a professional psychic, so mine is more intuitively focused, and his is more intellectually focused. But he has a lot of really great stuff, so I highly recommend Conscious and Culture.
I mean, isn't that balance?
And that's our balance, and that's how we can write these books together. We've got the academic, and we've got the intuitive, and the left brain and the right brain in human form working together.
Exactly. Thank you. Thank you so very much. Benny, thank you today. I want to thank all of you for tuning us in, turning us on. Thank you all for calling in, and you will love, love, love the book. Stay tuned for another hour on Transformation Talk Radio.
Preceding audio was via a Skype call.